Welcome to the Deep Dive. Our mission today is really quite specific, built for you, the listener, because you gave us some fantastic source material to work with. We are going deep on Taylor Swift's 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl. But maybe more importantly, we're not just looking at the songs themselves. The real challenge here, the thing we need to understand, is why this album's rollout feels so different. How is this era setting itself apart from all those other, really meticulously planned eras we've seen before?
That's exactly it. That's the core question we need to pull from these sources. Because if you really look closely at the announcements, the partnerships she's formed, and just the sheer scale of what's planned for this Friday, October 3rd, the release strategy itself, it's arguably the biggest story in the music industry right now.
Right.
And the title, The Life of a Showgirl. It just screams spectacle, drama, and the strategy is absolutely delivering that. But it's doing it with a level of control over the distribution, over the revenue, that honestly we haven't quite seen executed like this before. It feels like a totally new blueprint.
A new blueprint. I like that. Okay, so let's unpack this blueprint then. We know the basics. Album drops Friday, October 3rd, 12 brand new tracks. But like you said, before we even get into the business side, the mechanics of the release, let's tackle the really fundamental shift, the music. The sound itself seems to signal this massive pivot.
Yeah, the first details we got about the sound, they're probably the loudest signal that things are changing this time. The sources really zeroed in on Swift's own words describing the life of a showgirl. She called it a lot more upbeat and fun pop, like excitement. That kind of language feels very, very deliberate.
Deliberate, you think, because it's setting up a direct contrast, like a counter statement to the album that came right before it. I mean, the key phrase everyone picked up on was that this new record is a complete 180 from a lot of the songs on the Tortured Poets department. We should probably pause on that for a second. That's a huge statement.
Oh, it's colossal. Absolutely colossal. Think about the Tortured Poets department. It was defined by, a certain kind of melancholy, really complex lyrics, production that was often quite nuanced, sometimes even kind of submerged.
Yeah, very intricate.
Intricate, exactly.
Yeah.
It felt like this introspective, almost literary piece of work, often digging into intense emotional pain or deep reflection. So to come out and declare a complete 180, that's basically promising a full-scale return to vibrant, like super extroverted, high-energy pop music, the kind of stuff that's built for stadiums, not for quiet nights thinking things over.
And the proof, I guess, is in the collaborators, right? The producer credits.
Yeah.
This album marks a really critical reunion because she made it with Max Martin and Shellback. So for you, the listener, who might be tracking her career shifts, why is bringing these two back specifically such a powerful signal? What does that tell us strategically about the sound?
Well, it's like the ultimate sign that, the big pop machine is firing back up, that the sound is being engineered for maximum impact. Max Martin and Shellback, they're legends in modern pop music. Their whole thing is crafting these pristine, often really maximalist soundscapes.
Right, layered synths, huge choruses.
Exactly. Massive choruses that just hook you instantly. And everything's incredibly polished. The mix is immaculate. These are the guys who really architected her massive global stadium-filling pop identity. They worked with her on Red, on Reputation, and maybe most importantly, on that defining, just seismic shift that was 1989.
So the argument here is that after she explored, the folklore and evermore cottagecore thing, and then the really complex kind of literary sadness of TTPD, she actually needs the Max Martin sound now to power this next stage of the Eras tour, almost like a commercial necessity.
I think that's a really strong reading of it, yeah. That super polished pop production, it's practically designed for arenas. It guarantees that every single chorus lands with this immediate, universal punch, even in a massive live setting.
Makes sense.
So the sources definitely suggest she's intentionally going back to that specific commercially dominant sound. It feels like a very deliberate move away from the deeper emotional stuff, maybe, towards this exuberant celebration. It matches the energy of the world tour that apparently inspired it, which I know we'll get to. So yeah, it's not just a musical choice. It feels very much like a business decision, too, to really leverage that global touring machine she's built.
And we've got some tantalizing little details about the track list, too, which seem to back up this shift towards, big maximalist pop. We know the title track, The Life of a Showgirl, features another huge pop name right now, Sabrina Carpenter. That pairing alone just screams massive radio-ready hit, doesn't it? A collab between two people just dominating the charts.
Oh, absolutely. That's an immediate major cosign. It connects her directly with a key figure in the current pop generation. Definitely confirms that fun pop description she used. But then there's another track title that confirms this other kind of fascinating thematic thread, Elizabeth Taylor.
Ah, yes. And this is where that whole thematic pivot to the showgirl persona really seems to click into place, isn't it? Including a song actually called Elizabeth Taylor. It immediately draws this line to classic Hollywood glamour, high drama. I mean, she's the ultimate icon, known for living this incredibly vibrant, very public, almost theatrical life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It links her own persona, or the persona of this album anyway, to that specific historical tradition. You know, these incredibly famous women whose lives were just lived out loud right in the spotlight, but with real courage and flair. And what's interesting, looking at the sources, is that this isn't actually a totally new theme for her, but it feels intensified now.
Right, she's referenced them before.
Yeah, the sources remind us she referenced Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton way back in Ready for It on the Reputation albums. So it feels like she's actively revisiting that theme, but maybe escalating it, really leaning into this idea of a large-scale, dramatic public life, fully embracing the spectacle. So the sonic pivot we talked about, it really goes hand in hand with a thematic pivot towards, high-stakes drama and the nature of celebrity itself.
Okay, so that pivot towards high-stakes drama, towards spectacle, that leads us nicely into the album's inspiration and also its visual identity. This very vibrant aesthetic, which definitely seems to fly in the face of those moodier eras we just talked about. Where did this whole showgirl concept actually come from?
Well, the sources point to a really deep connection between making the album and her, her day job right now. Swift actually shared that she worked on the life of a showgirl while she was physically on the Eras tour, specifically when it was going through Europe. So that environment, that constant, almost overwhelming energy, that seems to have become the album's muse.
And she seemed really personally invested in this one, too. The quotes were pretty strong. She said, "I care more about this record more than I can even overstate, and also, this is the record I've been wanting to make for a very long time." It kind of suggests that maybe the themes or, I don't know, the constraints of those previous, more melancholic albums had sort of delayed this particular kind of expression. Like she finally felt she had the right experience, that electric tour vibe to really write this specific album.
I think that's exactly it. And lyrically, she kind of connects the dots for us directly. She explained the album is about what was going on behind the scenes in my inner life during this tour, which was so exuberant and electric and vibrant. That feels like the key phrase right there, her inner life during the tour. So she's not just reporting on the spectacle of the tour itself, she's giving us the internal monologue of the showgirl, right? The woman operating at this absolute peak professional capacity under intense lights.
And visually, that inner electric life seems to translate directly into this, well, inescapable orange aesthetic. You really can't miss it. The sources point out how orange is just the theme. It's all over the album cover, the whole campaign. And Swift actually explained the color choice, didn't she? Saying, it feels kind of energetically how my life has felt.
Yeah, exactly. Orange is loud, it's dynamic, it's warm. It definitely grabs your attention. It's pretty much the polar opposite of the dark blues, the grays, the blacks that really dominated her visuals for the last few years.
It's a big swing.
It's a powerful, very calculated move into just pure saturation and high contrast.
Yeah.
But what's really quite remarkable, and speaks to the planning here, is how quickly that aesthetic pivot managed to have this cross-cultural impact, particularly with that Elizabeth Taylor connection we mentioned earlier. Naming a track after the star, it prompted this really unique and, I say, highly strategic reaction from Elizabeth Taylor's estate.
Yeah, that was fascinating. It wasn't just like a nod of approval. It was a full-on commercial collaboration reinforcing this brand synergy. The official ElizabethTaylor.com online store, it immediately launched this limited edition Showgirl crewneck sweatshirt. And the key detail, the really clever part, is that it's in the exact same orange color as Taylor's whole album campaign. And that $65 sweatshirt, it's timed to ship on October 3rd, album release day. That's tight coordination.
Oh, the immediacy, the precision of that collab. It is absolutely not an accident. It's really a testament to the power of Swift's brand, isn't it? The ability to generate these immediate cross-generational merchandising opportunities. It confirms that this showgirl idea resonates beyond just, the current pop moment. It connects her theme back to this lineage of historical fame. It's actually a pretty sophisticated use of cultural reference for essentially brand validation.
But isn't there a bit of a risk there? I mean, comparing yourself even implicitly to someone as monumental as Elizabeth Taylor, that could easily come across as, well, a bit pretentious, couldn't it?
That's a fair point, and it's probably why the family's reaction is so important here. The sources confirm that Elizabeth Taylor's own son, Christopher Wilding, he actually publicly endorsed the reference, validated it. He called Swift a rare positive role model for young girls, and specifically admired her philanthropy and her courage. That's a massive stamp of approval.
Wow, okay.
It totally reframes it. It positions Swift not just as some artist kind of borrowing from history, but almost as an inheritor of Taylor's legacy, that legacy of spectacle combined with positive influence. So yeah, it turns what could have been a potential risk into this moment of really powerful multi-generational strategic alignment. That orange aesthetic, suddenly it's more than just a color. It's like a shared brand identity, stretching across decades of fame. Pretty clever stuff.
And this is where that idea you mentioned, that total control thesis, really starts to take shape, I think. Let's start with the announcement itself. The reveal happened back on August 13th, 2025. But the venue she chose, making her debut appearance on her fiancé Travis Kelce's podcast, New Heights, that felt like a stroke of strategic genius.
Oh, absolutely. It's like the perfect fusion of cultural synergy to get maximum reach, but somehow still maintain this feeling of intimacy. I mean, the Kelce podcast is huge, right? It's this massive established platform.
Yeah.
And announcing the album there, it just organically delivered the news straight to this enormous NFL and sports audience, a demographic that's, huge, but maybe slightly outside the usual core Swiftie bubble.
Right. It gives her instant crossover appeal without having to, go on a traditional press tour. And by doing the album cover reveal right there, in this kind of intimate chat with her fiancé and his brother, she delivers this massive business news, but it's wrapped in this curated, family-friendly, seemingly almost casual setting. She completely controls that initial narrative. She sidesteps all the traditional entertainment media gatekeepers.
Exactly. Neutralizes any potential negativity or, leaks right out of the gate. And that desire for control, it seems to dictate the entire promotional timeline that follows. Our sources really highlight what we could maybe call the single strategy, the fact that Swift has deliberately not released any music at all before the album comes out.
Yeah.
That decision just flies in the face of decades of standard music industry marketing practice.
But isn't that a massive gamble? I mean, for pretty much every other major artist out there, dropping a single beforehand, that gives you crucial chart momentum, right? It gets you early radio play, makes sure fans are already buzzing and engaged. If the lead single, which we know is called The Fate of Ophelia, if that doesn't land as an instant smash on day one, doesn't she risk losing some of that critical opening buzz?
It is objectively a profound risk, no question. But if the strategy seems to accept that risk, prioritizing something else instead, maximizing the event, this single strategy, it forces all the attention onto the entire album as a body of work, and maybe even more importantly, onto that big theatrical release event we're going to talk about. Every fan, whether they're casual listeners or hardcore collectors, they all experience the music for the first time, together simultaneously on October 3rd.
Creating a shared moment.
Oh, exactly. It creates this enormous shared moment of discovery, which in turn generates just massive social media amplification and excitement. The momentum here is built on scarcity, on anticipation, not on having a song already dominating the radio before the album even drops.
Okay, scarcity and anticipation. That leads us right into the physical media strategy. And I think here we absolutely have to bring in a crucial piece of context for you, the listener, which is that Swift has successfully bought back the rights to her master recordings. So every single penny of revenue generated by this entire rollout, from streams to all these vinyl variants to the movie tickets, it all goes directly back to her. That context just fundamentally changes how we look at this super aggressive push on physical media, doesn't it?
Oh, completely. That control over her masters, that's the engine driving this whole maximization of every possible revenue stream.
Yeah.
Because she owns the IP, every single creative choice, every business decision seems geared towards capturing the absolute highest possible value from the collector market. So even before release day, she announced multiple vinyl variants. There's Shiny Bug, Tiny Bubbles and Champagne, Baby, that's show business. This is a tactic we've seen before, sure, but it's proven to maximize those crucial initial sales figures and guarantee a huge first-week chart debut.
But the Target exclusive, That feels like a deep dive within our deep dive. This is the crowd is your king edition. This particular variant seems designed to be the ultimate piece of collector bait. It goes way beyond just being a different color vinyl.
Oh, yeah. The level of detail they've put into the packaging for the Target exclusive, it's like a masterclass in understanding collector psychology.
Yeah.
It features an opaque, pink, and pale yellow pearlescent vinyl with gold shimmer. See? It's not just, oh, it's pink vinyl. It's this sensory artifact. The actual visual aesthetics of the vinyl itself are designed to be unique, beautiful, instantly increasing that perceived scarcity and value.
And the stuff that comes with it really adds to that value proposition, too. The exclusive version, it includes a big 24 by 36-inch double-sided poster, a collectible custom gatefold jacket, which is important for display, and this double-sided fold-out panel. And that panel has previously unseen photos and, this is crucial, a poem written by Swift herself. Plus, the album sleeves have more never-before-seen photos and all the lyrics.
Let's just break down why the gatefold jacket, and especially the poem, are so significant. For the really dedicated fans, that gatefold isn't just packaging. It's like display art for their collection. And the poem, that's incredibly high-value content. It's something unique, seemingly handwritten, personal, that's absolutely essential to the whole Swiftie brand identity, that feeling of personal connection.
Right.
So by offering this specific, non-replicable content, the poem, the unique photos, only through this exclusive Target version, she's giving fans this explicit incentive to buy this specific version. Often, probably, in addition to other variants they might have already pre-ordered. It's hyper-targeting the collector to maximize the total number of units sold, dramatically.
Which says a lot about her partnership with a retailer like Target. I mean, Target is clearly so deeply invested in this one album release that they're planning to open nearly 500 stores across the U.S. at midnight on Friday, October 3rd, just for people to buy this album. That kind of dedication, it reminds me of like massive cultural events from the past, launching new Harry Potter books or major video game consoles. You don't typically see that for just a music album release anymore.
No, you really don't. And it signals to the whole industry that this album is being treated as a guaranteed cultural and commercial phenomena, something that warrants this unprecedented level of retail activation. The midnight opening caters directly to that fan desire for a communal experience, for the physical act of getting the album right away. It turns buying something into this celebratory cultural moment. And remember, given her ownership of the masters, every single one of those midnight sales at Target represents maximized revenue capture for her. Guaranteed by really meticulous planning and by perfectly leveraging that fan desire for the ultimate collectible item.
And the ultimate expression of this whole event-based strategy has to be the theatrical part, the cinema component. Forget just dropping a music video on YouTube like everyone else. Swift has engineered this global physical album launch party happening simultaneously in movie theaters. She announced the official release party of a Showgirl, calling it a dazzling soiree, but packaged as like an album concept film or a cinematic experience.
Yeah, this just elevates the whole album launch from being, just another digital drop on streaming services to being a genuine cultural spectacle. And the structure itself creates immediate urgency. The sources say the event runs for one weekend only, Friday, October 3rd through Sunday, October 5th. That limited time frame. It feels purely designed to generate a massive initial box office surge and just dominate social media conversation instantly.
We also have to talk about the runtime they announced. 89 minutes. That detail feels very intentional. It's not accidental, is it? It reads like a classic Taylor Swift Easter egg. A deliberate nod to her birth year, 1989, and obviously her fifth album, 1989, which is, a core part of her brand, dropping these little clues. But actually integrating an Easter egg into the distribution channel itself, into the business model, that feels like a new evolution. It's telling the listener that even the length of the film is a coded message for the real fans.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the sheer scope of the distribution just confirms the intention here is for a unified global event. It's playing in all 540 AMC Theatres locations in the U.S., plus other major non-AMC chains like Cinemark and Regal across North America. And AMC is also screening it internationally across Mexico, Canada, and Europe. It really is a synchronized worldwide party she's throwing.
And the experience inside the theater sounds like it's going to be very premium, very controlled too. AMC actually confirmed the show will start precisely on schedule, like kicking off at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific on that Friday, and, get this, with no trailers or ads beforehand. I mean, she's basically demanding and getting a completely pristine, dedicated hour and 29 minutes of fan focus. Free from all the usual distractions you get at the movies. That level of control over the actual viewing environment is highly unusual.
So the big question is, what exactly are fans paying to see inside this 89-minute experience? It seems like it goes way beyond just listening to the album with really good sound. It includes the exclusive world premiere of the music video for that first single, The Fate of Ophelia. And since no songs were released ahead of time, that music video debut becomes a genuine global premiere event happening at the exact same time in thousands of theaters.
But it's the other content, the stuff exclusive to the cinema, that probably guarantees those ticket sales, right? Because it speaks directly to that core fan desire for, like, intimate access. We're talking about never-before-seen behind-the-scenes footage from making the music video, brand new lyric videos for the entire album, and maybe the most valuable piece, cut-by-cut explanations of what inspired this music and never-before-seen personal reflections directly from Swift about the songs.
Okay, that feels like the critical insight right there, those cut-by-cut explanations and personal reflections. What she's essentially doing is transforming those hyper-exclusive, really intimate secret sessions, the ones she used to hold for just a small, hand-picked group of fans in her actual homes.
Yeah, the legendary secret sessions.
Exactly. She's transforming that concept into a mass-market communal cinema event. She's kind of democratizing that intimate context around the album, giving millions of fans that direct, contextualized insight into her songwriting process all at the same time.
And she's actively encouraging the party atmosphere, too, cultivating that communal chaos and celebration. She told fans to dress up, saying, "Looks like it's time to brush off that Eras Tour outfit or orange cardigan," and she gave that critical instruction, "Dancing is optional but very much encouraged," which clearly signals she wants this to continue that highly interactive, really joyous cinema vibe that was established with the Eras Tour concert film, basically turning a movie screening into a structured, revenue-generating dance party.
And the financial numbers absolutely prove that this cinema partnership is viable. More than vital, it's incredibly successful. Pre-sales just for this release party film apparently brought in an astonishing $15 million on the very first day, just in the U.S.
Wow.
Yeah. And the total projected box office earnings are forecast somewhere between $30 and $50 million just for that single weekend run. And this success, it builds directly on the foundation laid by the Eras Tour concert film, which, remember, became the highest grossing concert film of all time, made over $261 million globally.
So this launch structure, it basically guarantees that Swift banks a multi-million-dollar box office payday before the album even finishes its first weekend of traditional sales or streaming. The film isn't just promotion, it's immediate, massive revenue capture. It's capitalizing directly on the momentum from the tour and on the fact that fans have already proven they're very willing to pay for these shared, exclusive experiences in a cinema setting. #tag outro. So what does this all mean?
Okay, so let's try and pull it all together. Let's synthesize the defining features of this whole Showgirl era based on everything we've discussed. First, you've got that really confident sonic pivot, back to the super polished Max Martin shellback pop sound explicitly designed for that global arena energy. Second, there's the highly centralized, very event-driven promotion defined largely by that calculated absence of a traditional pre-release single. And third, maybe most critically, you have this massive, meticulously planned theatrical launch, this global party that acts simultaneously as a huge revenue stream, a merchandise opportunity, and perhaps most importantly, a way for her to completely control the narrative context around the music from the second it drops.
Yeah, it feels like way more than just an album launch. It really does feel like a strategic business maneuver. Like you said earlier, she seems to have used the creative energy, the fuel from the Eras Tour to write this new record. And then she's leveraging the distribution channel she already proved works that theatrical partnership to launch it. This whole structure basically guarantees that on day one, fans get this multi-layered, shared communal experience of music, which maximizes both the cultural impact and the immediate financial return for her.
And the thread running through all of this, the thing that enables it all, is that total control, which is fundamentally facilitated by her owning her master recordings. I mean, we've seen the album announced through this very strategic, almost intimate conversation on a massive sports podcast. We're seeing it celebrated globally in cinemas, completely bypassing a lot of the traditional media cycles. The physical media strategy is precision engineered to capture every possible collector dollar.
Which brings us, I think, to our final provocative thought. Something for you, the listener, to maybe chew on as you get ready to experience the life of a showgirl yourself. Given that she now owns all the intellectual property and she can dictate every single term right down to the midnight store openings and the no ads policy in the cinemas, does this incredibly controlled multi-platform release strategy where the event feels almost as important as the music itself. Does this represent the ultimate evolution of an artist seizing total, absolute control? Control of their narrative, control of their distribution, and control of every single one of their revenue streams. Is this it? Is this the new definitive blueprint for how you achieve modern global music dominance?